Wicked Smart Podcast. We're going live, baby.
Like you've done step one. You did the ingest. Now you need to digest. And the digest is literally what Rich is about to show right now. This is super important.
So I have a question for you, Donnie. So so before Rich shares that, so real quick. So John, you use Notebook LM, right? Didn't I see that somewhere? Do you use it a little Notebook bit?
Well, I use two things. I would love to get Mike's feedback on this as well, because I use two things: Notebook and Superbase. And Superbase we use for a reason. Notebook it's like $5 a month. It's super cheap, but Superbase is way faster than it is. So we're using Superbase for the stuff that what Richard would be showing here, where we need a vector database. Where not the tech terms are not that important.
Superbase because they have different styles of databases, and one of them is a vector database.
Yeah, because they have pre-table vectorization.
But I'll tell you why.
All right, listen, how about you super dumb it down?
Hang on,
Super dumb it down.
Where it stores information, it stores information in every single session. Every single time I hit something, it stores it. So I've got a universal running thing, so I don't have to worry about opening different tabs and all that kind of stuff. But these are things that I want to do to go faster. I would love to show you guys a couple tools that I built to help things go faster and easier toward the end of it, if we have time. If not, I'll show it to you off camera. But yeah, that's super important. So I'd love to see what Rich
It's super important, but it's also super important to understand, Todd, that like super dumbing it down, you could do all this, like Mike is saying. You could do all this in Obsidian with Markdown files.
Yeah, wait. So that's what I wanted to ask you, though, Donnie. Hang on one second. So I just wanted clarification on this, right? Because you're my go-to with these, with all things related. Like there are a lot of options, right? Like in other words, right? Like it's not like you can only do this with Obsidian, right? In other words, so it's the under. It's like you've always said, the understanding the underlying engine is what's important, not the tool or tools that you're using to do it. Is that correct?
For sure.
Let me help you out here, Todd.
Correct.
And I think you guys are going to appreciate this, right? Basically, what we're doing when we're creating a framework, and as Donnie said, the ingest and then the digest, right? The ingest is the noise, right? And then what we want to do is we want to get the signal out of it, right? So here's why Notion is so good to start with. And then we can graduate to Superbase, right? But we just have to start learning some technical skills. What makes Notion very good is not only out of the base is it free, and it's a vector database, and you can have unlimited amounts of ingest, 19 YouTube URLs, the PDFs, any size you want. The beautiful thing about it is that it has the built-in scrapers. So if you're going to go use Superbase, you're going to have to find a way to say, here's the YouTube URL, here's this. So this Notebook is meant to take this data and then have pre-made prompts for you to say summarize or Cliff Notes version or whatever, or you could talk to it. And so I think that you got to look at Notebook LM as where you put all of the noise. You look, hey, I don't know what I'm doing here. Here's stuff from Alex Hormozy. It doesn't even know copyright. I'm just going to throw all that in there. Then you have the conversation. Then you want to bring the signal down to Obsidian. Right, you can leave it inside of Notebook LM, but now you can say, okay, now that we've got all of that, I want to create a framework on introductions for my salespeople. When they make a phone call, these 9 different people that run the best call centers, bring this down to Obsidian, and then I want to create a framework on all of that noise that we have in Notebook LM. Let's distill it down. I just want the signal, and then you could keep those files. And that's where your frameworks are going to live on your hard drive in a folder. It's called a vault. Donnie, you disagree a little?
I do disagree. Yeah.
Okay.
I disagree only because that's what I did. And I ended up having to go back and rework later. And it would have saved me a lot of time in the beginning if I would just have listened to forget the terms and how technically why it is better. But I think that setting this up if I could go back and redo it, and I would have known about Superbase, and I would have known about the full power of Obsidian, and I would have known about GitHub, I would have set it up. I would have not done what you just said, which is what I did, and I would have done it different from the beginning.
Yeah. Well,
just because then the main reason.
Now it's a podcast episode, boys.
The Wicked Smart